Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of my Woman Who Inspires series. My name is Sreshtha Tewari. I am the director of the Self-Worth, Leadership, and Empowerment Consultancy. I am also a motivational speaker and a wholeness guide. In this series, we talk to a diverse group of women. The intent is to show that our emotions, so-called perceived negative emotions, are really little messengers from the universe that are pushing us to a better place in our life. We have a diverse group of women on this series, and today I'm excited to welcome Karishma Maharaj. Karishma is a strategic planner for a multinational corporation. She is FCCA qualified and holds a BSc in accounting. Welcome to the program, Karishma. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, Sreshtha, for having me on this program.
You're most welcome. So tell us, Karishma, about your emotional healing journey.
Okay, so my journey started with an experience that I've had in life. We all go through difficult situations in life at work and sometimes dealing with difficult people. In particular, I would like to speak about working in a toxic work environment at the past job, which was very difficult for myself and for my colleagues. In particular, the supervisor created a very tense work environment, which inhibited growth and innovation in the department. This person regularly compared my colleagues and myself to themselves, indicating that we need to reach up to their level in terms of performance. And the person had believed in a work ethic of working 24/7. And held everyone else to this standard. So even if you were managing your workload within or during the working hours, this was not good enough for the individual. And it wasn't seen that you were giving your all to the company, which we know is not true. You can manage your work within the time frame that is allotted. And we all know there are times when it would be demanding. There are demanding times depending on your work schedule, and you have to give extra during that time and you have to make certain sacrifices, but it cannot be continuous, right? And it felt though that no matter how much effort we put in or how hard we worked, we could have never met that perfect standard that the individual was looking for. Mm-hmm. There were times when we wanted to take like a vacation day, just 1 day or 2 days, and we were met with a long list of deliverables of things that we had to complete before we even take that 1 day, even though we may have had a backup in place. Mm-hmm. And so it was so difficult and bureaucratic to even schedule vacation. You would send in your vacation days at the beginning of the year. And sometimes I was very hesitant to take some of those days because something was always critical in the department and it was difficult to get those days. Even sometimes when some of my colleagues would have stood up to the individual, they were later victimized because of it. So it was difficult to even, approach the individual and have an open, frank conversation about certain things that were happening. We even had some interventions from senior members in the organization, and we even had an external consultant stepping in trying to alleviate the situation in the department, but none of this seemed to have worked. The behavior continued, the demands was even more, and then the boundaries between work and family life got very blurred.
Yeah.
So it was a really difficult situation to deal with, and especially for the length of time some of us would have stayed in the department or in that job, experiencing that. I know some of my colleagues complained of even getting some health issues arising because of the mental strain that you go through in being in such a toxic environment. We never felt supported and we never felt that we were trusted.
Yeah, so this is such an interesting topic, especially for persons working in the corporate world, because now you are seeing a shift where we kind of moving away from the old Greek mythological style of the work environment, and we're trying to make it a little more mentally safe, psychologically safe, and a little more human. So to be in this environment, and I know a lot of people go through this, from your own experience, how did you feel going through this, and how did this affect you mentally and emotionally?
Well, significantly, it affected us all. I mean, I could speak for my work colleagues, and mentally, it was very traumatic for some of us. I mean, at a point in time, I was pregnant while I was working as well. So it was very difficult. And I mean, I spoke about the health challenges as well that some of them went through. But it was difficult to sometimes hear your supervisor telling you that that you are easily replaceable. When you hear that, you don't feel that you are making a contribution. I didn't feel I was being valued in any way. And anyone who knows me knows about my strong work ethic and my dedication to ensuring that all my commitments and deliverables are met. And even despite all that, it just felt that it wasn't good enough. It wasn't up to the perfect standard that was expected. And nobody could live in an environment like that, or even work or thrive in an environment like that.
Yeah. So one of our underlying things as a human is to feel connection. And one of my underlying beliefs is that anyone who is working, especially someone who has gone through so much education in order to land a job that they like, is coming from a place where they really just want to do their absolute best. They are coming and showing up 150% sometimes every day because they know how much they have to give and they want to give. And then to be in a situation where you are showing up and then nothing that you do really is being recognized or rewarded. And it is even taken to the extent that you are made to feel that nothing that you do is good enough and encroach on your own agency, your own ability to have your free time, your vacation days, time for your family. All of these are it's actually a very mentally toxic and emotional environment, because once you feel caged mentally, you are going to feel it emotionally. And unfortunately, this also leads to health conditions which some of your colleagues would have faced. So I want to ask you, how did you manage through this time and get through that time with this person?
It was difficult, I must say, but because, as I mentioned, my work ethic, I always kept focused with respect to the things that I needed to do to complete the tasks that I needed to complete, and I'm a very self-motivated person. So even though I may have gone into the person's office and gotten some sort of verbal abuse, I would still go back to my work, go back to my desk, try to process what happened, and then continue working. And this situation also bonded me and all my colleagues a little more as well. We found comfort in discussing certain events that happened with each other. And even up to now, we have a very strong relationship. We are all on our separate ways and all our separate different jobs and on our own life path in life. But we are still very connected. And this was one of the incidents, I would say, over the time periods that would have bonded some of us together. It reached a point for me that enough was enough. I mean, as I said, no matter how much we stood up or tried to seek intervention from above, it was not helping. So I proceeded to send out resumes to see how I could change my situation, because I really needed to break free from that mentally toxic environment. And I'm so thankful. I'm thankful to God every day for getting another opportunity, moving on to another job. I felt that was truly a blessing. It came in the right time. I was looking for it. I knew I needed to move. I knew that this environment wasn't helping me grow, thrive in any way. And then this opportunity came to me, and I was so blessed. And I am so happy as well that some of my work colleagues subsequently also came out of that situation as well and was no longer under that burden. The current work environment, I find that now I really enjoy working with the team of people that I work with right now. It is completely different from what I went through before. I am really, again, grateful for this opportunity to work with this team. And you feel supported, you feel that you are adding value and you are contributing. And I really love this new job or new position that I am in.
Yeah, and that is something that it also, going through a negative situation also helps you appreciate when you have a really good situation.
Correct.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, so I want to ask you, what did you learn from that horrible experience, a very horrible mental and emotional experience? What did you learn?
Well, after that experience, I realized how resilient I was. Going through that experience, still trying to ensure that I delivered to the best of my ability. I found courage within myself that I didn't even know I had. It taught me the importance of focusing on self-care as well. And going through that experience, it taught me certain things not to do as well. So when I reached into a more leadership position in my company, I realized certain things that I needed to do versus what I should not be doing. We, as the leaders in a department, need to understand that our employees are our most vital resources. And in order to get the best work from them, they need to feel our support. We need to support them in allowing them to access the time off, which was a big issue for us when needed, especially during an emergency. And not to be subsequently told after we take the time that our spouse needs to help out more, or don't you think your daughter is getting sick too often? These are the comments that we would have met with when we had to take time off to deal with personal matters. We have to also look at, and you mentioned it as well, that a woman's role is continuously changing. And we, as the senior people, or senior women in the team, need to bridge that gap for the younger woman in our team, help them to achieve their career goals while also caring for their families.
Yeah. So that's amazing. I love that you spoke about being resilient, because being resilient is really a key to survival, meaning that, when you go through whatever it is, you sit in your feelings and you traverse that wave of the feeling, but you're also able to get up and bounce back from that feeling. You spoke about how this situation taught you about your own courage that was within you, and how to approach your own self-care, which is so important. So every situation that we go through, as difficult as it is, there is some underlying thing that is going to teach us. And what I got most from your story is that sense of community and bringing persons together, because now you have those friends, lifelong friends, even though you guys are maybe in different places. Now you still have that bond that you would have formed because of a difficult situation, but it helped connect you with other persons going through the same thing. And it also helped you develop your own sense of compassion, so that now when you are in a leadership position, you are able to lead with compassion and to understand what other persons are going through, and to understand what would drive them to give the best of themselves. And any person who is able to get the best from their employee is a valuable person in an organization. So my last question for you is, what would you tell your younger self or women out there going through a similar situation?
Okay, so I would like to leave with this message as well. To always be brave and be strong. Find the courage. You will always find that strength when you need it most. I would want women to know that they can stand up for themselves, to lean on their community as much as they can, their community support, their friendships when they need it. I want everyone to continuously keep learning and keep growing and investing in yourself. I mean, true challenge yourself every day in some way, in some form, to help you get over whatever fears that you may have. And because true challenge comes change. If we want to change, if we want to learn, if we want to grow, we need to be continuously challenging ourselves. And one thing I do every morning when I get up is meditation. So I believe everyone should be, involved in meditation and mindfulness. I should have started as a teenager instead of 20 years later, but still, I'm involved in it. And once I meditate, I find that I'm grounded and centered, and I can, perform my duties for the rest of the day with ease. Right. And then I just wanted to recommend as well. I mean, as I say, I love to read some books for your viewers as well, if they are interested. Some of the books that I found that really helped me over these past couple of years was the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Limitless by Jim Quick. And in terms of family and family life and raising a conscious family, The Awakened Family by Dr. Shefali, I found was really, really profound and interesting. And of course, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And what that book really taught me was living in the present moment, that we don't have the past, we don't have the future at this point in time. All we have is the present. And what we do with this present moment now will determine the future, or design the future that we would want to have.
Yeah. So those are all very helpful tools to set your routines, to create your habits, to meditate, to basically have time for yourself and to do things that would help you feel that you're prepared for your day instead of probably shoved into your day. So Thank you so much, Karishma, for sharing such maybe a controversial topic, but a topic that everybody is so grateful that you spoke about, because everybody have had some situation, maybe not closely, maybe not exactly matching, but a close match or something that they can relate to in respect of workplace toxicity. And it's nice that you shared how you went through this situation, how you bonded, and the things you found in yourself from the situation. And then all the tools that now you know that you can use. You didn't know it then, but everything comes in its own time and at the right time. And now you are appreciative of the journey that you have had and the things that you can do to foster a better and healthier life. So thank you so much for coming on our program. Thank you to my audience for watching. This is Sreshtha Tewari, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye, everyone.